Welcome in tonight's episode of.
Welcome, full stop, in tonight's episode.
Welcome into tonight's episode of.
No, not into, just welcome. In tonight's episode.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Stories from M&R.
Sounds like Bold and the Beautiful.
One more time with action.
Action!
Welcome to Stories from M&R. Today is the 14th of June 2021. Just to follow up from the last video. So it's more like scans and specimen deposits. Don't mind us. We're just having some lychee. They are in season.
So basically today is what day is it today? The 14th of June. We had an appointment. I had an appointment at Thompson Medical Center. We got sent there from KKH. The doctor told us to go there because it's a shorter wait for appointments. So we went over at 9 a.m. was our appointment. He couldn't come in with me. He had to sit outside and wait. So the nurse called me into the room to ask some questions and to basically tell us about the scan that I was doing. So the scan is called the HSG scan or test, which is the Hysterosalpingography scan test. Okay, so HSG test. So basically it's an X-ray. They take like a series of X-rays of your fallopian tubes to check whether or not there are any leakages or any blockages in your fallopian tubes that may be the reason why we're having trouble conceiving. So basically what they do is they insert the speculum, okay, which is to open up the cervix. Then they'll put in a plastic tube into the cervix via the vagina, okay? And then when they've done that, they'll then insert a dye, and the X-ray will basically take pictures of your fallopian tubes as this dye is in there to see whether or not the dye leaks out or is blocked by anything in the fallopian tubes. So she told me all of that, then told me to wait outside, asked me to empty my bladder. You can't do it on a full bladder, not like an ultrasound. And then she called me in about 9:30. Got to get changed to the gown, remove all your clothing, bottom half, and then you sit on this X-ray machine. So it's a pretty big X-ray machine, like basically a bed, but it's an X-ray machine. Then you lay on there. You sit on there first on like a pee pad, you know, like the pee pads that they have for animals. Basically that. Then you wait for the doctor. So waited for the doctor. His name was Dr. Ng. He was alright, pleasant. Walked me through the procedure again, asked if I had any questions, and then he was like, let's get on with it. So we got on with it. And then, so basically you lie down, they get you to pull up your knees, he'll insert the speculum, he opened it a fair bit, not uncomfortable, done it before, it's not great, but it's not bad. And then they did say that the procedure could cause some cramping or mild spotting during and after the procedure. So I was like, okay, fine, mild cramps. She said a bit like period pain cramps, and that's fine. And then so they did it. When he put the tube in, he was like, okay, you're gonna feel some mild cramps. And I was like, okay. Psyched myself up, like, okay, calm myself down. Not psych myself up, calm myself down. Prepared myself basically for this mild cramping. You know, really didn't feel much. So I was like, oh, that's not bad. That's as bad as the cramps are gonna go. I was wrong. Then after he did that, he's like, okay, we'll pull out the speculum, lay your legs flat, and then we'll start the X-ray. So they pull the X-ray machine like over your stomach area, your abdomen, and then she pushes it down so it's like basically touching my abdomen. So that's quite weighted. You don't really feel it. Then he said, okay, we're gonna push in the dye and we'll look at your left fallopian tube first. So when he pushed the dye, he said, okay, you'll feel some mild cramping. Now cramping, I get fairly severe period cramps on the first day of my period. I know what that feels like. This was not that. Okay, so basically first you feel a little uncomfortable, like you can feel him pushing something in there. But then it goes from feeling uncomfortable to like, okay, that hurts. And it basically feels like someone's pushing in from the outside and doing like this from the inside of your body. So like, and I think obviously your fallopian tubes, they don't generally get much action down there. Like their basic function is to act as a pathway for your eggs to travel down, for the sperm to travel up, right? So there's not much stretching down there. And it was painful. Okay, then he said, okay, left one's done. And this whole time I was like reading just like some prayers just to keep myself calm and to keep myself distracted. And the left one, I was okay. I could still continue with my prayers. The second one, the second side, which is the right fallopian tube, that hurt. Like that knocked the air out of me. Like I was reading the prayers and then I just went like, like that. Okay, lucky that I had a mask on because obviously COVID, so they couldn't see my ugly face and my ugly reactions. But I had to stop reading halfway and like close my eyes and like take deep breaths. And the right one took a while. Like he even got me to turn on my side a little bit to continue, and it just kept going. And it was, yeah, it was painful. Like, and I know obviously in comparison to like childbirth or whatever, it's not that painful, but that was painful for me. And it was in an area which I think generally doesn't get, like, you don't get much pain in, you know. So it was really, really uncomfortable and painful. But the whole procedure took I'd say like 5 to 6 minutes. It didn't take long at all. So they took the pictures and then the doctor left. Anyway, then you get off the table. She gives you like tissues, obviously, because the dye is coming out of you now. And then she said, okay, you'll experience some mild spotting, some cramps, you know, get changed. It is not mild spotting, guys. Like, maybe I have a different definition to mild spotting. Mild spotting is like, to me, like your 5th day of period, you know. Yeah, it's not mild spotting. It's like a good, like, 3rd to 4th day of your period. Okay? Yeah. So I don't know if that's too much information, but I'm gonna share it here anyway because it's for our own memories too. So basically they gave us the report. You see it? This is the X-ray. I don't know how to read an X-ray. Moaz doesn't know how to read an X-ray, so we're just gonna wait for our doctor to read the X-ray. And then we paid for it. And we were out of there by like 10, I'd say.
Early 10?
Yeah, 10. It didn't take too long. And I was okay. You feel a little bit uncomfortable just because, you know, you've had stuff happen to you down there. And then we got in the cab. Went home. I was alright. But after sitting, and then we got home, and I wanted to make lunch. Nah, man. The cramps were another level. It was not even cramps. Like, cramps are generally, like, you know, like, dull, kind of, like, throbbing pain. This was, like, sharp pain. Yeah, there were sharp pains down in the lower abdomen, and it was bad. Like, I had to stop cutting things. I had to, like, take some deep breaths. I could barely stand for a while, but I was, like, midway through preparing lunch, so I just, you know, powered on. And then it kind of went away, came back. The spotting was still there, okay? And she said to expect it to happen for 2 or 3 days. And the cramps have stopped. Like, I don't feel any more shooting pains, but I can definitely feel uncomfortable. Like, I feel super bloated down there, and also just like you kind of feel like you're bruised, you know, that kind of like ouch kind of feeling. And then every step I take, like, I can't walk fast because every step I take, I can feel the pain, like, up,
every step I take, every move you make.
Okay, that's not even the words.
No?
No.
Okay.
So basically, that was my scan. Got 2 more things to do for me, the blood test and the full ultrasound. But that was my adventure for today.
So I was supposed to deposit my boys today between 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. So that was plenty of time, right?
We thought it was 3:30.
But we kind of pushed it to the end, and I arrived at so I was supposed to make a deposit in this.
And like the cup that they give you. You know the cup that they give you to pee in?
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah. So they gave me a cup. I've showed this in the last film. So I was supposed to make a deposit in that cup and come down to the National Sperm Bank and make a deposit between 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. So, but we pushed it, and
You literally got there at 3 o'clock.
I arrived at the clinic
At 3
exactly 3 p.m. Exactly 3 p.m. Okay, I was a bit, then, but I had to go back. I had to exit the sperm bank just to register again. So I was about 2 minutes late.
But they were nice, huh?
Yeah, they were nice. They said, oh no, they said it's okay. They accepted my deposit. I had two options for deposit. Either do it over there, and they have a small room for you to make your deposit. You know, one of those things that you see in the movies where the guy goes into the room and then makes the deposit and gives it to the counter. Exact same thing. So they have, but I chose to make the deposit at home because I feel a lot more comfortable naturally. So I made the deposit, got changed, jolted out. Alright, 3 p.m. sharp.
You have to be at the clinic within an hour of the deposit time.
Hence why I was rushing.
Because you have to give it to them within an hour of ejaculation.
So now it's just it's just the waiting game. She has
I have a scan, like an ultrasound, on the 2nd of July, and then I have a blood test that I have. No, sorry, my blood test is on the 2nd of July. So basically, the blood test you have to do on the 28th day of your cycle. So that's on the 20. No, that's the 2nd of July, and then on the 14th I have my full ultrasound. Because they couldn't find the scans from my previous hospital. Let's not talk about that incompetency. But basically, yeah. So that's my full scan, and then we see the doctor on the
August.
2nd of August or something like that.
So
we're just waiting now. But yeah, it's trotting along, guys. And I mean, really, best case scenario is there's nothing wrong at all with either of us, and it's just a matter of trying.
Yeah.
But at least if there is anything wrong, we can catch it now instead of, like, we just don't want to wait, 5 years and then realize that actually there was something that could have been done. If there is something wrong, na'uzubillah, God forbid. So at least if this way there is something, we can get it now and then, continue trying to conceive. And of course, we know that even if there's nothing wrong, it's really not up to us. It's all in God's hands, and we're okay with that. We just want to make sure that we've ticked off and eliminated, like, all of the possible problems that we may have.
Just to wrap it up, if you happen to be following our journey, thank you for watching, because it's a very, it's a big deal that we're sharing this with you guys. So we appreciate that you took the time to listen and watch our journey.
And we're not really sharing to, like, get views or anything, but we feel that there's a lot of, I think especially in Singapore, not many people talk about going through, like, struggles, and in our Malay community or, like, Asian community, there's not much discussion around, like, trying to conceive. Like, I think people generally they'll ask, like, it's like natural progression. You get married and then when are you having a baby? Oh, how come haven't been having a baby yet? How come no baby? Not trying, difficulty, got problems, that. And people are very easy to ask these kinds of questions to newlyweds, but the process of conceiving is not something that comes easy to everyone, and it's not something that comes natural to everyone, and that's okay. And the thing is, sometimes people don't even want to have babies, and that's okay as well. Like, don't ask people these questions. It's not your place to ask. If you don't know, it means you're not in the circle of no. So when you know, and if you don't know, then too bad for you. We haven't, our parents are quite chilled. Like, they haven't really asked us. They asked, I think, at the beginning of the marriage, like maybe 1 or 2 months in, but then after a while, they were fine, and they don't really ask. And I mean, really, the blessings of COVID is we don't have to meet too many aunts and uncles, so we don't get asked those uncomfortable questions. But please don't ask your friends, because some people might not want children. Some people might be having a really hard time trying to conceive. Some people may have gone through miscarriages and stuff. And so the reason we're just recording this, like I said, one is for our own memories. Like, I want to remember this journey, no matter how it turns out. I think it's important that we remember what we had to do to get to wherever we're going to be in a year or in 5 years' time. But also to, hopefully maybe there's someone out there who is in the same place as us.
Exactly.
Or is thinking about going and doing these tests, and, people have put them off it because, in our Malay community, a lot of people will tell you, like, oh, all of this is God's will, so it's just not your time yet. Yeah, and that's true. It isn't our time yet, but we still need to put in the effort to, like, do our part of it. You don't just, it's the same, like, you don't just wait for a job to come to you. You still apply for jobs, go for interviews, etc. You don't just sit there and go like, oh yeah, God's will. We still need to put in the effort. So those of you who are watching and who are, a year into trying, and you feel like, oh, you just want to go get checked out and stuff, just go for it. It's really like your own peace of mind. I think that's why we're doing it, because we just want to know that everything's okay, and if there is something that's not okay, then we can do what needs to be done next.
And if you happen to watch till the end, Once again, thank you very much. Maybe show some love, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.
Bye. These lychees are good.
That was very long.
But you know, lychees have a very